Hello and welcome to the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival's Free Shakes in the Parks production of Pericles, Prince of Tyre. I am your host, Master of Ceremonies, Grand Dame of Stories, Amy Lizardo. And in today's episode, I will be playing the role of Gower. And currently, I am on the land of the Shasta and Takelma people in Ashland, Oregon. We are so excited for you to go on this virtual journey with us. And as we ramp back into in-person performance, we thought we'd take a moment today to just break down that fourth wall and interact directly with you. Now, Shakespeare's Pericles will begin in about 15 minutes, but first we're going to get started with a little bit of trivia. So get ready to test your knowledge. To participate in this interactive experience, grab a mobile device like a tablet or a cell phone, and I want you to open a new browser to www.crowd.live, and I want you to enter game code 2PV3Q, and it is also written right here on the screen, and this is going to be very similar to Jackbox TV, which a lot of us have played over the last year and a half. Once you enter the code, you will be asked a number of different questions, one of which is a team name. Get super creative or keep it simple, whatever you want. Also, your last name, email address, and zip code. Now, this information is going to help us track your team because at the end of the episode, 3 teams will be chosen to win an sfshakes tumbler. Also, 1 team will win the grand prize of VIP, reserved seating, and picnic at the live outdoor performance of episode 4 in either San Francisco, Redwood City, or Cupertino. Again, that's www.crowd.live and game code 2PV3Q. And the 3 winners of the sfshakes tumblers from episode 2 trivia are Team Juliana Mello, Team Varlets, and Team SF Cats. An sfshakes staff member will be in touch. So let's get started with this game. You will have only 30 seconds to answer each question. Please feel free to search the interwebs, but for the first question, we challenge you to actually use your wits, because in true Shakespearean style, we're going to start with the medieval riddle. So here we go. Question number 1. An eater lacking mouth and even maw, yet trees and beasts to it are daily bread. Well fed, it thrives and shows a lively life, but give it water, and you do it dead. Your 30 seconds starts now. Again, an eater lacking mouth and even maw, yet trees and beasts to it are daily bread. Well fed, it thrives and shows a lively life, but give it water, and you do it dead. You have just over 10 seconds left. Riddles, man. Riddles. You got to think. I mean, that's why they're riddles, right? I'm never very good at them. I want the answer right away. All right, your time is up now. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. The Temple of Artemis, built in Turkey, was a sacred site dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis. Who is her Roman equivalent? Also a goddess of hunters. Get ready to search. Your 30 seconds starts now. The Temple of Artemis, built in Turkey, was a sacred site dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis. Who is her Roman equivalent? Also a goddess of hunters. You have just under 15 seconds left. Oh man, this is a toughie. I think this might be one of the hardest questions that we've asked total. So if you know this one, good on you. All right, you have just under 5 seconds left, and we're going to move to question number 3 right now. Here we go. Question number 3. During Shakespeare's lifetime, what major disaster forced the closure of London theaters twice? And your 30 seconds starts now. During Shakespeare's lifetime, what major disaster forced the closure of London theaters twice? And Shakespeare, being Shakespeare, well, he still worked during that time. He wrote some of his most famous plays while these theaters were shut down. No pressure on you. during this, last year and a half. You didn't have to write. I mean, it'd be brilliant if you did. My goodness, I'd be so proud. You have just 2 seconds left. And here we go to question number 4. Who helps Pericles when he is shipwrecked on Pentapolis' shore? This is for those of you who watched episode 2, mostly. Clue, more like a group of people who work near the shore. And your 30 seconds starts now. Who helps Pericles when he is shipwrecked on Pentapolis' shore? Clue, more like a group of people who work near the shore. Again, who knew you were going to get a pop quiz? Got to pay attention when you watch these episodes now. Jeez, Louise. All right, you have just under 10 seconds left. Who could these people be? Group of people be? All right, and your time is up now. And now, our final question is not a question at all, but a challenge. And we are calling it the Shipwreck Challenge. Your team can choose to build or recreate a shipwreck with materials that you find in your own home, like cardboard tubes, boxes, tinfoil, your family pet, vegetables, your children, fruits, whatever works, and it'll be featured and shared with your SF Shakes community. To do so, please submit a picture of your shipwreck via email to sfshakes@sfshakes.org with the subject line Shipwreck Challenge. Again, subject line Shipwreck Challenge. All right, now let's review the answers to the trivia. If you think you did better than how you scored, great. We will double check all the answers, so that if there's a spelling mistake, we'll catch it for you. But let's go ahead and take a look at the correct answers. Question number 1, fire. Woo! Question number 2, Diana, the goddess Diana. During this episode that you're about to watch, listen for the goddess Diana and how she is invoked. Question number 3, the plague, bubonic plague. And question number 4, fisher folk, fisher people. Great. So this episode's winners and prizes will be announced, you guessed it, prior to the start of episode 4 of Pericles, Prince of Tyre, which starts September 4th, 1 week after my birthday. I expect a gift. It's going to be outdoors and in person in Redwood City, San Francisco, and Cupertino. I'll be there. I hope you will be too. And now for a warm welcome from our episode 3 director, Elizabeth Carter.
Thank you, Amy. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free Shakespeare at Home. I'm Elizabeth Carter with the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival. On behalf of SF Shakes, I would like to acknowledge that our home office sits on the unceded homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone people. Learn more about the indigenous stewardship of the San Francisco Peninsula at ramaytush.com, linked in the YouTube video description. This year, Free Shakespeare is performed in 4 episodes. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are right here on YouTube using the unified virtual space method that technical director Neil Orman pioneered last year, where our actors perform individually from their homes, and he combines them to appear to share the same space. This is episode number 3, our final virtual episode, and we will finish with episode 4 in September and October in person in the parks, where we hope you will join us. It is possible that at some point we'll experience a technical difficulty. We'll let you know what's happening in the YouTube chat and over audio if we can. Tonight's performance is a preview, so there might be some things that might shift as we move through our previews to opening. We encourage you to participate in the live chat throughout tonight's show. In order to participate in the chat, you do need to have a YouTube account, which is free. All photography and videography is forbidden, including screenshots. We can be fined by the Actors Union if unauthorized images of this production appear on the internet. So please reach out to us if you need a press photo at sfshakes@sfshakes.org. Our mission is to make Shakespeare and theater accessible to all. And we can only keep doing this with the continued financial support of you who believe in the value of public art. You can donate at the links found in the YouTube video description and on your screen. Tonight, an anonymous San Francisco family has offered to match your gifts. Please consider a donation of $10, $50, or $100 to support our work and our artists if you're able. Tonight's runtime is approximately 55 minutes. And I want to issue a trigger warning. This episode includes a scene in which a character is threatened with a knife. Finally, if you enjoyed tonight's performance, please tell others. Word of mouth is still the best way to spread the word. Episode 4 begins in person on Labor Day weekend in Redwood City. And if you missed episodes 1 and 2, recordings will be available starting August 13th. Tonight's performance is brought to you thanks in part to generous support from our donors, the Friends of the Festival, and our season sponsors, Play on Shakespeare and the Hits Foundation. To support Bay Area theater artists as they recover from the pandemic, please consider donating to Theater Bay Area's Performing Arts Worker Relief Fund. You'll find the link below the video on YouTube. And now, we're going to hear from some members of our community. Please enjoy Pericles, Prince of Tyre, Episode 3, The Storm Without, the Storm Within.
What has been the most challenging?
From this past year.
What has been the most challenging about this past year?
Not being able to interact with people that you care about.
My belief in the return of live performance was so destroyed by last year.
Christmas alone at home is a weird phenomenon for me, so that was a little tough.
The most challenging thing was the isolation.
Not having as immediate access to my usual sources of support.
I miss seeing people.
There was loss with the kids staying home and not being able to hang out with their friends.
Sort of feeling unmoored and living every day with uncertainty.
Or one of my favorite things to tell other people when they feel like their feelings aren't valid because other people have it worse. It's like, whether you're drowning in 7 feet of water or 70 feet, you're still drowning either way.
Last time on Pericles, Prince of Tyre, the young prince, Pericles, fearing for his life, meets with the wise Helicanus, who advises him to go travel. And so he does, to Tarsus, where Pericles brings aid to the drought-stricken country. Receiving a letter that his location is not safe, he once again sets sail. Braving the rough seas, Pericles is caught in a storm, shipwrecked, left with nothing in the foreign land of Pentapolis. He takes a risk and joins a royal tournament meeting Princess Thaisa. Meanwhile, back home, the lords of Tyre want to make Helicanus king. He rejects the crown, then sends word to call Pericles back home to Tyre. And now for part 3 of Pericles, Prince of Tyre.
Now sleep, make still the festive house. All's darkness, every candle doused. The only sound, the well-fed snores of wedding guests behind closed doors. The cats with eyes like burning coals sit sly with patience at mouse holes. And crickets in the hearth sound sweet as cooling ovens lose their heat. So Hymen brought the bride to bed. We're by the loss of maidenhead, a babe's conceived, and now attend, we'll vault the time we needn't spend. While in the womb, his child is curled. His lords have searched across the world. They failed their quest. But still reports from Tyre finally reach the court of kindly King Simonides, who hands him letters where he reads, "Return to home is overdue." His pregnant wife begs she goes too. He cedes to her with anxious heart, and so with sorrow they depart. Lycorida, her nurse she takes, and so to sea. The great waves break against their ship. The weather turns, and soon the sea with fury churns. Their salt-streaked vessel ducks and dives. They cling and fear for all their lives. At the center of the sea, the lady screams, "The child in me!" And labor turns its mortal vice. Her belly's racked as birth pangs slice. Her body, like the ship, is pinned. The storm without, the storm within. I won't relate what happens then. Imagination needs again to see the ship all brined with tears, where sea-tossed Pericles appears.
God of this cruel vast, subdue these surges that rush up into heaven and through hell. Lock up all your winds. In shackles, bind the forces you have called up from the deep, and still the deafening thunder as you quench the nimble flame of lightning. Oh, how? Lycorida! How does my queen? Oh, you vicious storm, will you destroy yourself? The seaman's whistle is like a whisper in the ears of death, unheard. Diana, I pray to you, goddess of all birth, and midwife gentle to those that cry by night. Come here to us and board our seething boat. Come ease the pains of my queen's labor. Now, Lycorida!
Here is a thing too young for such a place, who if it understood would die, as I may do. Take in your arms this poor remnant of your dead queen.
Oh, Lycorida!
Peace, sir! Don't add more water to the storm. Here's all that's left living of your queen, a little daughter. For the sake of her, be manly and take comfort.
You gods, why do you make us love your sweetest gifts, then snatch them straight away? We here below don't take back what we've given in good faith, and that we are more generous than you.
Be calm, good sir, if only for her sake.
Now mild and gentle may be thy life. For no baby's had more blustering a birth. Quiet and gentle be all thy days hence, after the rudest welcome to this world that ever met a prince's child. Happy what follows. You've had as violent a nativity as fire, water, heaven, and earth can make to summon you from the womb. And what you've lost at first is something more than all your life to come can compensate. Now may the gods look down on you with grace.
God save you, sir. Have you courage?
Courage enough. I do not fear the storm, it's done its worst to me. But for the love of this poor infant, this fresh new sailor, I wish it would be calm.
Sir, your queen must overboard. The sea is running high, the wind is fierce, and will not die until the ship is emptied of the dead.
That's your superstition.
Excuse me, sir. When you know the seagoing life like we do, you know enough to follow its customs. So let her go, sir. She must go overboard.
As you think best. Most wretched queen!
Here she lies, sir.
A terrible childbed you've had, my dear. No light, no fire. The harsh elements forgot you utterly. Nor have I time to give you proper funeral rites, but now must cast you barely coffined to the sea, where all that marks your grave will have to be the cold eternal stars. The spouting well and aching water must hang over your corpse, where you lie with simple shells. Lycorida, prepare me spices, ink and paper, and my satin chest. Go now, while I say a prayer and farewell to her. Quickly, woman!
Sir, we have a chest beneath the hatches. Caulked, waterproofed, and ready.
I thank you. Mariner! Say, what coast is this?
We are near Tarsus.
To Tarsus, good mariner. Change the course from Tyre. When can you reach it?
By break of day if the wind abates.
Oh, head for Tarsus. I must visit Cleon. Surely the babe cannot survive till Tyre. I'll leave her there to be looked after. Go about it, good man. I'll bring the body shortly.
Men? Are you there?
Did you call, Senora?
Make a fire and find food for these lords. It's been a violent and raging night.
Good day. Oh, good day to your lordship.
My friends, what brings you to me so early?
Lord, our lodgings stand right up against the sea, and shook as the earth shook. The very rocks beneath our feet seemed just about to split and bring our houses down. Our fears drove us to quit our own homes.
That's why you find us here before the dawn. It's not for will to work.
Muy honestas.
But I'm amazed that you, with your sound home, should shake off all the ease of your soft bed. It seems strange that you take on discomforts willingly without being compelled by your own need.
I've always thought that virtue and wisdom were greater gifts than status or mere riches. I've studied medicine, that secret art. By reading the great doctors, I have learned and mastered by my practice so much craft that I can call upon a remedy for any mortal illness that I meet. I'd rather gather knowledge as I do than seek after the faint flicker of fame or tie my pleasure up in silken bags. Platas pa tontos, no para la muerte. Money's for fools. It cannot hold off death.
Your honor has through Ephesus spread forth such charity and skillful expertise. Hundreds say they are your grateful debtors, restored to life by you. They praise your name.
Vámonos! Help lift!
What's that?
En este momento, señora, the sea tossed up this chest upon the shore. It's from some wreck.
Put it down. Let's take a look.
It's like a coffin, Lord.
Oh, whatever it is, it's wondrous heavy. Did the sea cast it up?
Jamás he visto so huge a wave, señora, as the one that threw it on the shore.
If the sea has eaten too much treasure and fate conspires that she should spew it here, then lucky us.
You're right, my lord.
Wrench it open then. How tightly it is caulked. But wait. That smell, how sweet that is to me.
Yes, it is fine.
As any scent I've known. So, open it. Por los dioses poderosos. Is this a corpse?
So strange.
Envuelta en tela real. Embalsamada con tesoros y especias. A passport too. Apollo, assist me as I read it out. By this may you understand, where'er this coffin comes to land, I, King Pericles, have lost this queen whose worth is beyond cost. Please see to her burying. She was the daughter of a king. Take this treasure as your fee and bless you for your charity. If you still live, Pericles, you have a heart that must be cracked with woe. This was last night.
Most likely, Lord.
Yes, certainly last night, for look how fresh she looks. They were too quick that threw her in the sea. Make a fire in here and bring me all the boxes from my cabinet. Death can visit life for several hours, and even then a soul can be restored. There was a man, I heard, an Egyptian, who lay once for a full 9 hours dead, but was resuscitated with great skill. Well done. That's right. Make her warm, wrap the cloths. That rustic, soulful music that you play it now, I ask you. Es otra vez. ¿Me oyes? La música, ya. I beg you, give her air. Gentle lords, this queen will live. Nature awakes. Her breath is warm. Menos de 5 horas no ha estado inconsciente. See? She starts to breathe into her life's flower again.
The wonder of this deed shall seal your fame. The gods act here.
Vive. Vive! Behold her eyelids. Cases of those heavenly jewels that Pericles thought lost begin to part. Live and make us weep to hear your story, fair creature. Your fate has been so strange.
Dear Diana, where am I? Where is my lord? What world is this?
I'm mystified.
Uncanny.
Tranquilos, mis amigas. Ayúdame. Bear her to the next room. Her life hangs in the balance as we speak, and relapse now is fatal. Y que los dioses nos ayuden.
Most honorable Cleon, I must go now. My 12 months are now up. My kingdom stands in a restless state. My babe, Marina, for born at sea, I thought I'd name her that. I now do cast upon your charity and leave as an infant in your care. I ask that you might bring her up a princess so she might learn the manners of her birth.
Have no fear, my lord. We all remember. You were the one who saved us from the famine.
I have one myself who shall not be more dear to me in care than yours, my lord.
Madam, my thanks and prayers. No more tears, Lycorida. No tears. Look after your young mistress. For her grace in turn will comfort you. Come then, my lord.
Your coffin. Son tuyas. Son tuyas, this letter and the jewels you lay with. Do you know the hand that wrote this letter?
It is my husband's. I do remember being out to sea, though I was pregnant, but whether I delivered there, I wish I knew. Oh, what I'd give if I knew that. But since my noble Pericles is dead, and I'll never see my wedded lord again, I will take on the veil of chastity, and nevermore no joy.
Madam, if you mean truly what you say, Diana's temple is not so far off. Ahí podrías conocer la paz hasta conocer la muerte. And if you like, a niece of mine will attend you there.
The only thing I have to give is thanks, but what I owe you is no less than my life.
Imagine Pericles returned to Tyre. His welcome there was all he could desire. His woeful queen we leave at Ephesus, where she becomes Diana's votaress, and make Marina our concern, as now to her the scene will turn. At Tarsus, Cleon had her trained in music study, and she gained by education so much grace that she's the wonder of the place and much admired. She doesn't know that monster envy wakes below, and threatening Marina's life, now treason sharpens her cold knife. King Cleon has a daughter who is just the age for marriage too. Her name is Leontyne, and she is with Marina constantly. She sees Marina work on cloth as delicate as wings of moths, and when she plays upon the lute, the sweetest night bird listens mute. She writes Diana tender odes. All graces seem on her bestowed. Poor Leontyne's accomplishments don't draw as many compliments. She can't compete. Marina will surpass her in every skill. Praise falls on her like summer rain, while Leontyne retreats in pain. And Cleon's wife with envy stares, devising murder. She prepares for Marina's secret slaughter, thinking that by this her daughter would stand alone. Marina's left without protection and bereft. Lycorida, her nurse, has died. And so unknowing she collides with jealousy that's armed by hate. It may be that by her fate to die for her own excellence. But these, and all the next events, by your imagination see. You set the stage for what will be. Dionyza enters here, and now a murderer appears.
You took an oath to me once. Now, obey. It's just a job. No one will ever know. Easy enough to do, and once you have, you reap a nice reward.
I'll do it. She does seem good to me.
The better for the gods to have her then. And here she comes, still weeping for her nurse. You'll do it?
Madam, I will.
No. I'll strip apparel from the earth to strew your grave with flowers. Yellows, blues, some purple violets and marigolds I shall spread as a carpet where you lie while these summer days still last.
Marina, what are you doing all alone? Why is it my daughter's not with you? Don't drain your life's blood out with sorrowing. You have a nurse in me. Look how your face is shadowed by despair and useless woe. Give me those flowers or the sea will wreck them. Walk with Leontyne. The air is bracing. It always gives me such an appetite. Leontyne, give your arm. Go walk with her.
No, please. I can't deprive you of your servant.
Come. I love the king, your father, and you too, like family. We expect him every day. What will he think if this is how he finds you, far from the perfection of my letters, but damaged in our care? He will resent the long journey and blame my lord and me for not taking care of you. So please walk, and do cheer up. You know depression's bad for the complexion. Yours was once admired by young and old and should be so again. Don't worry, I can go back home alone.
Well, I will go if you are so insistent.
Come, I know that it will do you good. Walk half an hour at least then, Leontyne. Remember what I've said?
I do, madam.
I'll leave you, my sweet princess, for a while. Walk carefully and do not stir your blood. I must take care of you.
Thanks, sweet madam. Is the wind out of the west?
No. Southwest.
When I was born, the wind was from the north.
Is that so?
My father, my nurse said, did not show fear, but hung onto the mast and braved the sea that nearly swamps the ship and floods the deck.
Oh, wait, when was this?
When I was born, never were there waves or wind more violent.
Say your prayers, lady.
What do you mean?
If you need a little time to pray, then go ahead, but don't take long with it. Gods pick up quick. And anyway, I've sworn to do my job fast.
What? Why would you kill me?
To please my lady.
Why would she want me killed? I can't remember once in my whole life that I ever hurt her. No, I can't. What have I done that makes her think my life with death would profit her? What threat am I to her?
It's my orders to do the thing and not to justify it.
But you won't do it. Not for all the world. I saw you get hurt when you stepped in to break a fight up. It showed you at your best. Step in again and rescue me, the weakest. Please, save me.
I made an oath, and that's the end of it.
Enter pirate. Arr!
Get your hands off her. A prize. A prize.
Our prize, mate. We'll all get a piece of her.
Yeah. Get her on board right now. Hey, look. Save me.
These thieves all serve the great pirate Valdez, and now they steal Marina. Let her go. She's not going to return. I'll swear she's killed and thrown into the sea.
Why are you so foolish? What's done is done.
Oh, Dionyza, this is a murder fouler than the sun has ever witnessed.
I thought you were a man and not a child.
If I were the ruler of the wide world, I'd give back all I had to undo this. A lady and a princess, she could stand and equal next to any crown on earth in virtue as in blood. What will you say when noble Pericles, on his return here, asks you for his child?
That she is dead. Nurses are not the fates. For those they tend, they cannot always save. I'll say she died one night. Who can object?
Oh, please shut up. There's nothing the gods hate more than this. This is the worst.
You're one of those that thinks the little birds of Tarsus will fly there and chirp all of this to Pericles.
In such an evil business, A person who gives his nod to this in any way might as well have had a hand in the crime, dishonoring his family and his blood.
So be it. No one knows of this but you. And since Leontyne's gone, no one need know. She stood between my daughter and her fortune. No one would look at Philoten. Instead, they gaped in admiration at Marina, then treated our dear daughter as a slut to kick aside. It stabbed me to the heart. I can only think it was a kindness performed to benefit your only child.
Heaven forgive you.
And as for Pericles, what can he say? We wept at her funeral. We're still in mourning. Her monument is almost done. The letters writ in glittering gold are yards of praises, all at great length and even greater cost. We've paid through the nose.
You are a harpy. Behind that angel's face lies treachery, and under those soft feathers, eagle's talons.
You're just like any superstitious biddy, whining your allegiance to the gods. But in the end, I know that you'll obey me.
We'd leap the time and travel fast as thought, sail seas and cockle shells as men cannot. We hurdle distances and blink past time, and at the speed of thought move climb to climb. Now, let imagination have its way, for in the mind no boundaries can have sway. I'll enter in the gaps to guide you through and sketch the scene that must be dreamed by you.
But now, we'll turn our minds to Pericles, who's cast himself once more on shifting seas, attended by his company of men. He longs to see his daughter once again. The friendly winds and sound boats have now brought the king safely to Tarsus, where he thought he'd fetch his daughter home. But she is gone. So Pericles in sorrow is consumed. He's racked by grief to see his child entombed. He mourns his child, and here I stop to quote the epitaph that Dionyza wrote. The fairest and the best is sleeping here, who died in bud ere blossoms could appear. She was the child of noble Pericles, who named her for her birth upon the seas. Marina she was called, by tempest tossed, a paragon beloved and cruelly lost. From Tarsus he will leave, but first he swears he'll never wash his face or cut his hair. In sackcloth he sets out upon the tide. The tempest that he suffers is inside.
Tyre. My name is David Moore, and I am a resident artist with San Francisco Shakespeare Festival. It is our honor at SF Shakes to share the stories and themes of William Shakespeare with everyone. You, your neighbors, their neighbors, everyone, regardless of income, background, education, or identity. Now, if you, like me, believe that the performing arts have the power to unite us in our humanity, to help heal us, and if you have the means to do so, then please take action and donate today. All our work is made possible by generous donations from individuals and families just like you. And don't forget, we have an anonymous San Francisco family who is going to match your donations tonight. So whatever you give is going to go twice as far as it normally would. And that is super awesome. So remember, no donation is too small or too big. Now, if you feel like you want to take action and donate today, you can text sfshakes to 56651, or you can go to sfshakes.org and click the blue donate button at the top of every page. And if you like what you saw tonight, if you had a good time, if you're like, woo, this was amazing, please help us out. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody that we are performing now virtually and that we're coming back to the parks live and in person in September and October. Now, there are 4 more chances to catch what you just saw, episode 3 of Pericles, Prince of Tyre, so please make sure to let everybody know. Now, the easiest way to keep track of what's going to be happening and what's performing what is just to subscribe to our YouTube page. Simple as can be, and you're all set. Thank you again for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Have a good evening.